Welcome to the Butterfly Kisses March 2024 team meeting. We are going to go over Scentsy schedules while you have them, what we like, how we schedule our lives around our business, etc. But first and foremost, I just want to congratulate everyone who's active already, or even hit leader numbers if they've hit their leader numbers already. We have SFR registration is still open. It closes in May. I don't remember the exact date. I want to say it's around the 25th, but if I'm wrong, go ahead and tell me. There are three options. There are in person in Orlando. There is the home virtual with giveaways, and then the home virtual. Different price points completely. So if you can register at least for the home virtual, and you could, because the other ones are more expensive, do that. I'm sad I can't go to SFR this year, but I have to do what's also best for my family. And I've been very transparent about that. But I did the home with giveaways. So next is the incentive. The yearly incentive for our 20 years is currently still going. Curious who's gotten January, February done already and got an email for it. I feel like everyone on the call can say that. Yes, no? Yes. Cool. And then who's already completed March? I know we're on the 19th. We got time still.
Me.
Sarah, have you, Shonda, and Brie? Okay, everyone on the call has already completed March. And then April is subscribing to Scent or Warmer of the Month. I personally always subscribe to Warmer of the Month. So if you already are subscribed and knowing that's already done for yourself, or Scent of the Month, know that you already have April in the book. I'm assuming from what I remember, I think everybody on the call also already has that subscription done. Right, Sarah, your Scent of the Month?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, that's 4 out of 12 already right there, guys. So let's keep going. May is super simple for all the people who pull leader numbers, which is everybody on this call. It is being active. So what I want to encourage you to do is, since everyone that is on the call is a leader, and we know that active is something that we usually do really well, I want you to find one person in your team that you can also ask to be active and help encourage them along the way to be active. Find out what's stopping them, what are their barriers, so that we can get them to be active as well. Because that can be hard. So that's it for the housekeeping stuff. So Scentsy schedules. I've been very transparent. We all know I have ADHD, like a good amount of us. And I thrive on deadlines. I wing most of my business, and I've been very transparent about that as well, which isn't the best system. I spoke with an upline today and found out that I need to stop winging my system because I have everything else organized in my life. I have a system for our meal plan. I have a system for our schedules in the kids' sports. I have a system for work. I don't have a system for Scentsy, and I've been doing it for 4 years. It'll be 4 years next week. So we're trying to figure out. Yes, I know. I'm so excited. So that was one of my homework, was to make a system for Scentsy, which one of the things I heard in Chloe and Jen Anderson's leadership call last week was Scentsy is a job, period. When you go into a job, you know your expectations, you know what work is expected of you, you know what to do for your job, like how to bring in money. And as soon as I heard that, I instantly was like, I haven't been treating it that way. I know everything to do. I know the expectations, but I haven't set myself up a schedule to make my business that way. And that was really eye-opening for me. I know that my follow-ups are through Project Broadcast. That works for me at this time. But I also have to develop other systems that work for me in a schedule now to figure out what is best for myself and my business, and then what is best for my team and their businesses. And one thing I mentioned earlier before recording is that the team does what the leader does. And when I say I wing it, and I said, who else wings it? I saw a lot of hands go up. So guess we're going to have to lead from the front and lead by example, which will be really awkward and weird to change my routine like that. But at the same time, I think it'll be very beneficial because I do a lot of my follow-ups on Friday. So like follow-up Fridays for me. I put random like messages and challenges out to y'all, like 5 booking conversations today or 5 join conversations today. I've had 5 join conversations today. I have not had 5 booking conversations though today. Which I have 3 or 4 people interested in joining. So, I mean, one post today made that difference. And it wasn't a join my team post, but it was at the same time. So if you all want to steal it and steal some verbiage and, you know, make it sound like you, because we all know I'm not going to say, hey, girl, hey. But if you say, hey, girl, hey, then you make it, hey, girl, hey. I'm going to be the one who's be like, how you doing? But you all know that about me. Like, so if that post doesn't sound like you, just change up that word and verbiage. What does everyone do for a schedule besides winging it? I know that's a really tough question. Ooh, Shonda has a schedule. Shonda, tell us all about it.
Mine's horrible, but I've been working on it. It's kind of like on the time blocking thing, but my ADHD, as you know, same thing. I like sit down and say, "Oh, I'm going to start working on my list today," and then squirrel something happens, and from here to my coffee pot, I get lost. So, but so I've done it Monday, Tuesdays. I have Wednesdays as my off day. Because I have a all day Bible study that I do, and like we go out to lunch afterwards. So that's like my day. And then Thursday and Friday. So I do email, and it's been helping me to have this because it at least gives me some sort of place to fall into. Like when I come in and sit in my office, I'm not what do I do? Like what can I do? So it's emails, thank yous, booking blitz on the 1st and 3rd Monday of every month, international intentional contacts for new customers, sponsored club members, club reward points, and update customer club emails and launch parties. Because I do all of my online parties, they launch, I start them on Mondays, and they go from Monday to Monday. So for me, I start all my parties, I set them up on Fridays, and then throughout the weekend, they add their people, and then on Mondays, we launch them out. And so then I do Tuesdays, team shout outs, which I've been horrible at. Coffee, and then first 70-day check-in, if I have anybody, and then on our team and follow-up systems. This is like my Tuesdays, my day I need to start like actually working on. And then promotions to leads, pulling my report, doing a live weekly, and then coaching calls. And then Thursdays, I've got the VIP schedule post in my VIPs. 3 new videos a week. So like what I'm warming, uh unboxing, LTOs, club boxes. And then Fridays is like pre-orders, follow-ups, that type of.
I only can write so fast, so
Yeah, no, you're good.
so I heard follow-ups twice. I heard on Tuesday and on Friday. Do you make time for both of those on Tuesday and Friday?
Friday is like my, like, if I don't make it on Monday,
Your
or
catch-all.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you think your biggest struggle is with the schedule that you made? Does it ever feel overwhelming? Does it feel like you're underwhelmed? Do you feel it's productive?
I feel it's pretty productive. My only thing, one of my biggest things is when I don't have all my things done on Monday, I feel overwhelmed to say like, oh, well, I don't have my own stuff done, so I shouldn't be reaching out to my team because I don't have my own shit done.
Mhm.
Which is where I need to get out of my own head and
Okay. Something that Chloe said to me earlier, and I'm gonna quote, start and try and don't overthink it. And I was like, she goes, you're afraid of failure. I'm like, yeah. Of course I'm afraid of failure. Because I'm good at everything I do and I make it known that I'm good at what I do. So if I don't do it well, I'm failing because I'm a perfectionist. I'm a type A personality. And I would like, she goes, okay, then just try. That's all I want to do is try. And I'm like, oh, okay. She goes, I don't want you to fail. I'm like, thank you. She goes, because then we can know how to adjust and fix. Thanks, Mom. Or grandma in this case. So it was just one of those, okay, that's she like I said, she said it was gonna be uncomfortable and weird. And I definitely feel that to my core that that's going to feel that way. So Sarah, Dev, do you have a schedule at all besides winging it like me?
As of recent, not necessarily, only because I've gone through quite a few schedule changes in my everyday life, so that has been like thrown out the door. But what I was doing for a while was Tuesdays would be my party booking days, or like my booking blitz days. Then Thursdays would be join conversation days. And then as well as on those Thursdays are the days I set up my parties. And then I have them start that Monday. It's literally the same exact schedule as Shonda with her parties, except I just set them up on Thursday instead of Friday. That's the only thing that I still really have implemented. Other than that, I use Project Broadcast for my follow-ups, so that's like done for me already. I have it all set, and yeah, everything else needs to be rescheduled.
And one thing that has been helping me with my follow-ups is I have my envelopes that are like pre-stuffed, and all I do is just go ahead, I fill out my thank you that I have right here and pop it in, and I'm ready to send out my envelope. So that's been super helpful. Nikki, you're muted.
What do you keep in your pre-stuffed envelopes for your thank you?
So I have a scent
The
sheet.
10 cents. Yep.
I have the flyer, a product sheet,
Product sheet. Yep.
and then I have this here and this here, which is my club.
Mm-hmm.
Tells up like my story and sign up for clubs.
Okay. And then you just pop a thank you note in there.
And I pop a thank you note in there. And like this month here, because I have the 10 new scents, I don't have extra, but usually I'll throw like a couple of extra samples or whatever in there.
Okay.
I've been trying to focus on keep it simple, and then I can just get my things done, and I feel staying on top of things.
Okay. What about you, Sarah?
I don't really have any systems. I just wing it and I'll just post whatever. Like I'll go through and sometimes I'll post wax and warmers and buddies, just different stuff. And then I haven't scheduled any parties since January, I think. But
So
I've done-
when you post, I'm curious because this is something like I'm very curious about. You collect a lot of local orders and do bulk orders. How do you know what goes to who when you receive a big box? Like, because I just started creating a system for this because I was struggling with this.
I look through my messages and see who wanted stuff.
Okay. So I started making an Excel sheet and like I'm already like putting like edits on it, what I need to change on it. Because I'd get a box and be like, I have no idea whose that is.
No,
Like I struggled with that.
no, I know for the most part, like I got a box today. Like I know whose this is, and like I have a big pile of shit over here,
Hmm.
and I know whose all the stuff is because I just looked through my text messages.
Now, how do you package up your orders, Sarah?
I put them in bags and then have them come to my work and they grab them. Some people I drop off at their houses.
Okay.
And I'll put like a scent of the month flyer in there. And sometimes I put like my old testers in there.
That's what I've been doing too to get rid of some of them.
Yeah, because I have an abundance of them.
Hmm.
Just
Okay. Bree, I know you're not feeling the best. I don't know if you want to talk about your system or systems. Or type them. I know you do. I just want you guys are proving Chloe's point right now. Thank you. Okay. Now, I know for a fact that someone else here does have a system a little more scheduled, and that's Katrina. Want to share your schedule with us?
I just popped on to like lurk.
Well, no, all of our Zooms now. I've been to
Mhm.
ask everyone else. We've been doing interactive Zooms because I find that
Yes.
they've been more beneficial for, including myself.
I love that. I love a good pen and paper system. It's taken me quite a bit over the last 6 years to find something that works for me. My biggest piece of advice is literally to try everything, because I used to be a just wing it person until I got thrown a few curveballs that I've not shared with anybody. And I've been super, super grateful that I had systems in place. And like, I love when I hear some of you say that you just wing it, like you post, like Sarah, I'm going to use you for example, because I want to. You're like, oh, well, sometimes I post wax and sometimes I post, diffusers, and sometimes maybe I'll share like how I'm packaging up an order. So you might not have a system for what you're posting, but you have a system for posting on social media. You do, whether you realize it or not, you do have a system. And that is that you sit down at some point during the day, like, that like, I need to share on social media today, or I need to schedule out my posts, or whatever. Doing those things, that is a system. For me, I used to hear the word system and I would think like that it needed to be this big elaborate thing. And Nikki can tell you guys, like, I used to get on her all the time, because she would go, Post-its, that's my system. Post-its are my system. And I'm like, that it was drilled into my head, that Post-its couldn't be a system. And so therefore I would drill it into her head. No, that's not a system. You're being lazy. You need an actual like efficient system. But in reality, Post-its worked for her. And then you flash forward a few years later, and all the people that were telling me that Post-its couldn't be an efficient system started preaching about doing Post-its as a system. And just put 3 things on a Post-it. That's all you need to do. That's a system. So for anyone telling you that you're doing it wrong right now, give it about a year and you're probably doing it right. You're just ahead of the game. If what you're doing now works for you, then it works for you. And that could be your system. You just don't realize it's a system. But for me, like, I know I share with you guys a lot, like the content calendars and the actionable items calendars. I try to follow those pretty good, with like what days I'm trying to book parties, what days I'm doing opportunity blitzes, what days I do my follow-ups, things like that. So those are all on those calendars that I've shared. And then I have all of my trackers on my Google Drive, which I know Nikki has linked a shortcut to the Empowering Sense Google Drive onto the Butterfly Kisses Google Drive for you guys, and it's all under trackers. And they're there for you guys to tweak and use however you want. But like, I literally try to keep my stuff as easy as possible. Like, for my orders, the way I keep track of my orders, it is literally like name, date of order, when, like the date that the order was placed, the date that it shipped. I used to have the carrier on there because we had FedEx and UPS, but now it's just FedEx for everyone. And then I have like initial follow-up, and then like the 1 month, 2 month, 3 month follow-up, because that's just personally how I do mine, but you could tweak it however you want to do yours. And then I have like a little notes section, like if it's like they shop the flash sale or if it's their club or something. And then when I do my thank yous, I literally just check them off once I do my thank yous. Like there's a column for like, did I send the thank you? So that way it's easy for if I want to do thank yous all at the end of the month, 1 month, or if maybe I have time and I do my thank yous once a week. That way I know that it's there and that I've sent a thank you. But I'm like super like it, you guys weren't with me and Nikki like a long time ago. OG, like we would get it drilled into us that like systems had to be these crazy things. And it had to be like this tangible thing that you could pick up and show people and go, this, because it would always be, show me your systems. Sometimes your system isn't something that you can pick up and show someone. If it works for you, and it's all a system is the way that you do things and that it works for you. And swear to God, 6 years, it's finally clicked for me. So I can see all y'all's numbers. I wanted to interrupt Devin when he was talking because I wanted to be like, I don't care what Devin's system is, because whatever he did last month, he needs to keep doing it because that was his best month ever. So like that
I
kind
was
of
mean.
stuff.
I was mean
You
to him
literally
last
just
month.
look at what you did so good the month. Like that's my goal, is to hit my best month ever. So I always compare my best month or last month even and go, okay, this month was really bad. What did I not do that I need to do this month? That's a system. Self-reflection is a system. It's you don't need a big crazy thing that you can pick up and show someone. It's just,
Well, I remember when I showed my Post-it notes and you're like, no.
I
You said,
know.
pick it up and show your system. Here you go. And it's funny because if you look back at my numbers that year, when I tried to do something different is when my recruiting went down and my sales started going down because I tried to be like others.
Everybody else.
Right.
Yep.
And like Bree and Devin have seen my desk at work and I have Post-its everywhere on my desk.
So my advice is, if you are happy where you are, if you are content with where you are, and that's not a dig saying like you don't want to grow, but if you are happy with where you are in your business right now, then keep doing what you're doing. But if you do want to push yourself a little bit outside of that and go, what more could I do? That's when you look to the people around you that are, what was it? I don't know if you guys listened to the last leaders call that Chloe did with Jen Anderson. And she said, be like the dumbest person in the room, the brokest person in the room, all that stuff, right? You want to surround yourself with people who are doing better than you. Now, that's not to say that if your BFF, your Scentsy bestie is, a certified consultant who never wants to be a leader, I'm not telling you to not be friends with them and not hang out with them. That's not what I'm saying. But I am saying, if you know that you want this, you're all in, like we talked about on that leader call, and you guys are all leaders on here anyways. If you're all in and you want to do all the big things, you surround yourself with those leaders and those people that are way above you, the ones where you feel like, I don't even know why I'm in this group chat right now. I don't know what I'm doing here. With the people that you have imposter syndrome around, okay? Those are the people that you want to be like, okay, what did they do last month? Like, what are they doing right now? We don't have the same customer base. Like, I want to do what that person's doing. And the people in this business that want to help other people grow, whether or not they're even in your upline, downline, sideline, whatever, I can guarantee you can go up to any of them and go, hey, I know you don't know me, but I know who you are. And I think that you're freaking amazing. And I would love to get some tips from you. What did you do to grow last month or whatever? And some of them might be super busy because their business is bigger than yours and whatever, and they have to give it more attention. And even if they go, you know what, I just did a training for my team on this, go check out my YouTube channel with this, and this. And you know what I mean? But like, it's okay to reach out to those people that are outside of your bubble, whatever, to really be like, hey, listen, I know you don't know me from Joe down the street, but I love what you're doing. I want to do that too. Like, you can totally do that. But yeah.
So you answered half the question.
Sorry, what was the question?
What's your schedule?
What's my schedule? I told you my schedule. My schedule is those calendars that I post for you guys.
So you don't have one day that you focus on team as well? Like,
no, I don't do that time blocking portion because I feel like my personality type, I am way too much. Like, I can't tell myself, like, I've tried the whole, like, no, it's outside of my business hours, stuff like that. Like, I'm not the type of person, I don't like that type of person that used to do that. So I'm not, I can't tell myself like, no, it's team day. Or it's customer day. I'm going to focus on all of X, Y, and Z today. And I'm not going to do anything with my team today. I can't do that. Like, it will give me so much mom guilt. I feel like mom guilt's the only thing I can equate it to, but I hope most of you know what I mean by that. I will just it will eat me up to like, I couldn't imagine doing work on stuff and Devin texting me and saying, oh my gosh, I'm doing this huge event and I lost my printouts for this. And I know that I really liked yours. Can I have them? Could you imagine like the guilt that I would have? Like if I was like, you could have searched the team page. Absolutely not. Like, because that's not the type of leader that I want to be. I want to be very like, I don't care if that's called hand holding or whatever, but like the thing when you've been around as long as me, as long as Nikki, you learn what type of leader you don't want to be. I don't think you've done that exact same thing to me, Devin, but it was that your face is right here. So that's, but like when you've been around as long as me and Nikki, you learn what type of leader you want to be and what type of leader you don't want to be. And
I just want to be Wendy. I just want to be Wendy. I love Wendy. I mean, who doesn't, right?
Katrina, my last event that I did in July, I was like, hey, I need the flyers you had. These.
oh yeah.
Hmm. I was like, I really need them. Like, I'm pretty sure I did it the day before.
But
I was
I'm
like,
also the type of person that like I could be in the middle of grocery shopping and like if you message me, like my phone's always on me. I'm not someone who can just first of all, military wife, I can't put my phone on do not disturb. I just can't. I also am the type of person that I can't see 5011 notifications and just ignore them. So if you message me, I'm gonna check the message.
Mhm.
If for some crazy reason I didn't check the message, like send it again because maybe one of my kids had the phone and swiped it away. But like, like I'm gonna see the message and at the very least, I'm gonna pull the message down the preview and I'm gonna go, okay, they want to know about this. Okay, hold on, let me go grab the link for it while I'm in the middle of Sam's Club. Like, I don't care. Because to me, I'm like, I'm just doing grocery shopping. Like, it's fine. Like, it's
I recently learned that some leaders turn their notifications off on social media, which instantly at that thought gave me anxiety.
it's
I was like, what?
Mm-mm.
No.
I can't
No.
even turn notifications off when I'm busy doing like other things.
Now, I will say something that I got from Chloe and Jen Anderson's meeting the other day was like the whole like don't let Scentsy consume you and be 100% of your personality where you are only wearing branded stuff and I'm listening to it and I'm sure the thought went through your head too, maybe Nikki, but I was like, wait a minute. This is kind of the opposite of how we were like brought up. It was always
Make
be
sure you,
branded, like
yeah.
always be branded, always have, stuff on hand, like to be happy, like, you know what I mean? And like always be Scentsy 24/7, live, breathe, eat, sleep, Scentsy, Scentsy, Scentsy. And now all of a sudden it's like, I want to take a cue from the people that have been doing this for 10 plus years because they've figured something out to have sustained this long. And if someone who's been doing this that long in the game, two someone's are agreeing on it, I'm sure there's more than two, but these two amazing leaders are telling us like, hey, it doesn't have to all be about Scentsy. Like, well, I'm not even talking about posting on social media. It's like in your personal life.
Mhm.
Like for me, that was hard to swallow because I was like, whoa, I'm like, I used to preach all the time, like Scentsy is my happy place. Like it doesn't feel like work, so I don't mind doing it all the time. But it is still work.
Mhm.
And you should still be
Mhm.
doing other stuff that isn't Scentsy. There should be
Mhm.
something else that brings you joy. You should have other interests. And for a while, I was like, dang, I don't. That was like a really hard, like slap in the face when they were saying that for me. And so, like, again, self reflection, big, big, big. So, your question of my schedule and stuff is like, I don't necessarily wing it, but like there are certain things like I pretty much follow those calendars. So like I try to do my mail on the weekends. Like I'm not somebody who's like I've kind of given up the whole business hours aspect too. If I'm being honest, like I've kind of given up the business hours thing too. And I'm not saying that I make myself available 24/7. I don't, because I don't. But like, if I'm if I'm working on the weekend, like that's not fair for my business hours to only be,
What works
you
for you?
know, what works for me, because I might have someone on my team who works nights,
Mhm.
or has an opposite schedule of me. Like, we can't preach to our new incoming recruits, be your own boss and work as little or as much as you want to and work it your way and all this. We can't say that authentically and then turn around and say, oh, but you need to be doing X, Y, and Z on these days, and you can only contact me during this time, from this time to this time, and on these days. Like, I just feel like I feel like it's counterproductive. Like,
Okay.
it's my same sentiment with the whole mandating meetings. Like, if I'm going to record it, then I don't care if even one person comes on. I'm still going to do the meeting. I'm going to record it, whether it's me talking to 50 people or me talking to one person or no one. Like,
I've done that.
you're going to record it. Exactly. You're going to record it and you're going to put up the recording link for everyone. Otherwise, yeah, sorry.
It's okay.
I know you won't edit that out before you put it on YouTube. So
No, because I'm really bad at my editing skills.
She doesn't know how to edit stuff. So
My edit skills are really bad on YouTube. Oh, that's okay. Anyways, but that works for you though. That's the point, is that everyone has their own system, their own way of doing things. One of the things I struggle with, and I've been very transparent struggling with, is Happy Mail. Really, really, really bad at it. And when I say really, really bad, I can't use the word bad anymore either, I was told. It's really challenging for me. Challenging is a good word, because it's a challenge. I'm not failing at it, but I am. So, does anyone have a system of Happy Mail that works for them? And if so, how long do you keep your Happy Mail going for that customer is another question. Because I always get warmer and scent of the month. And so I automatically get those 50 flyers and those stickers. So what other systems do you all have, and where you carve out that time? Because like Shonda gave me her schedule, but I didn't hear Happy Mail on that at all, except for follow-ups. So is that how you do your Happy Mail, is during those follow-ups? What do you do? Sarah, yes, I love you. Sarah wings it.
I can tell you mine for my
Okay.
Happy Meal. My
Mhm.
Happy Meal is different, I feel like, from other people. I keep my Happy Mail. My Happy Mail to me is my scent of the month mail, my clubber mail. My Happy Mail is separate from my thank yous. And so if I were to pull up, let me just pull up my thing real quick on the drive, just so I can look at it while I'm talking to you guys. If I pull up the calendar, and like the first one for me, it's always on Sundays when I do them, always on Sundays. And they are like, I always do my thank yous first. And then I do where are we at? Here we go. Sorry, I'm trying to keep you guys on top of this. So my thank yous get done first before anything. Well, honestly, if I'm saying it, my thank yous actually get done last, because I actually start my Happy Meal for next month the month before, so that all I have to do is make the samples and put them in. So like that's under my my whole my under my trackers called like tasks to stay on track is what I have it called. And yeah, that's what I have it called, is tasks to stay on track. And so like the end of the month, social media, hold it, here it is. That way I can pull it up and tell you. I have it printed out too, because but the baby's already asleep. So like when it comes to mail, like the first week of the month, The only like Happy Meal I'm doing is my thank yous. Knock those out, knock out my teeny PRV mail, and I knock out my the PRV cards, the thank you mail from the month prior, and my scent of the month for that month all gets mailed at the same time. So it's a lot of postage on stamps, obviously. But the people that I'm sending thank yous to, they literally just get a handwritten thank you note now. And like sometimes a sticker, but like nothing crazy. I don't even put a scent circle in it anymore. They just get the handwritten thank you note, and that's it. Now, those people that purchased, obviously they're going to be on my scent of the month Happy Meal list, because my scent of the month Happy Meal goes to the last 50 customers. That's a report that I just pull. I also, because I keep track of all my orders on paper, I can literally just go back and count back 50 without repeating people. And so those, I do like what Shonda was saying. I pre-stuff my envelopes the month before, so that's going to get the scent of the month flyer in there. Any kind of flyer or brochure that like I want to print out. Like last month we did like the new sticker sheets, the new product sheets, things like that. But like going into this one that I'm prepping for next month is going to be always the warmer of the month brochure, and then it's going to have a flyer like printout I found on one of the Canva pages for like, it's like a little mini newsletter type thing that has like everything coming in April on it, like what, and like one of the things in there is like highlighted is like the Mother's Day collection. So I already got my Mother's Day wax in. I'm going to make samples of that, felt samples of that, and I'm going to make samples of the scent of the month, and those are the samples that are going to go in. I put the samples, the felt samples, in the envelope like normal, like spread out. So, and it's only one stamp. And so it's under an ounce. And so that's all that goes in that scent of the month mail. But the way that I prep that is okay, it's week 2 for me is, so anytime between the 8th and the 14th, because normally I've gotten the scent of the month stuff in, and I haven't gotten it in yet. Whatchamacallit, I'm sorry, that's week 3. I'm sorry, week 3, the 15th through the 21st. That's when I am prepping my sample bag. So I'm like printing my labels for it, stickering all my bags so they're ready for me to just drop the samples in the bags. Because I know that's something that Nikki struggles with, is she'll make all the samples and just throw them in a big Ziploc, and she doesn't ever really have time to bag and tag them. So I do it backwards. I tag all my bags first, and then drop all the samples in once I've made them. So that way they're ready to be, they're the last thing. Yeah, they're the last thing that goes in my envelopes. So so what I do is I put like whatever flyers and whatever already in my 50 envelopes. So the last thing that I have to do is pop those in. I'm talking like, when I say I prep my envelopes, like I've already put my return address label on them. I already know what 50 people they're going out to. So like their addresses are already on there, and I've already put the stamp on it. So that literally when I make the samples, they're done. They're ready to go out. And I do it for only 50 because I don't want a bunch of samples left over. Now, what do I do with that wax? Because obviously we get more than 50 felt samples of wax, right? I make those into big deluxe samples of wax, and those wax samples go in my opportunity bag, my opportunity packs, my Clubber mail, and all that stuff. So like my Happy Meal is always done on a Sunday. My samples are always done on a Sunday. Like my kids know that's like one of the times that like the whole table is done up and everything. And normally my kids help with it too, because if it's multiple samples, if there's like what's it called, when you have everybody working, like not a conveyor belt, but you know what I mean? Like I can't think of the word, but like
Assembly line.
Assembly line, thank you. Yes, yeah. There's like an assembly line of like somebody's bagging and tagging this scent, somebody's bagging and tagging this scent, somebody's popping them into the envelopes, somebody's closing the envelopes. Like, so that way it's boom, 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 done. And you're not spending all day doing the samples. Does that make sense?
Yes, but how long does that take you? Because that, like, to me, that's way more than like my ADHD is gonna
because-
not squirrel.
Okay, so because I know I made that sound super complicated, but I promise it's not.
It's not complicated.
Because-
It just sounds like it's a long time period.
It's really not. Sorry, a gnat just flew up my nose. Awesome. So because I break it down like one week I'll do my I'll count out the envelopes and I'll stuff them with all the things. I'll stuff them with all the warmer of the month flyers. I'll have my 50 envelopes stuffed and whatever. And then I'll put the stamps on them and I'll put my return address labels on them, right? That's all I'll do. That takes like 15 minutes to do all of that. Like 15 minutes. The next week, that's when normally I've gotten all of the samples in, and I'm making the samples for everything, and I'm bagging them and popping them in and done. Even if I have multiple samples to do, like it's just not, I'm not trying to do from start to finish all in one day. It's like I do the paper part of the envelope, and then I do on one day, and then the next week I'll do the actual sample part that goes in of the LTO or whatever we're adding to it. And then normally one last week, normally that's when I'm actually addressing them. So I did a lot. I mixed it up. The last thing that I do with it is I address them, not seal them. So I'll have them all done so that the last week of the month, I pretty much know, like, okay, no one else is going to order this month. No new people, really, pretty much, so that I can go back and look at my last 50 customers.
Okay, that's what I was wondering. So I was like, do you go back to like this month you're doing all of February people who ordered and then before that?
No, so the ones that are like, so the ones that just went out at the beginning of this month, right? That was everyone who ordered in February, January. I think I went back to December because it was 50 customers. And I pride myself on customer retention. So I have a lot of repeat people. So sometimes you got to go back a few months, but I do like to do the 50 because otherwise I would end up with these leftover flyers from warmer of the month. And I would tell myself that, oh, I'll put it in a opportunity pack, or I'll put it in, whatever, my next bag party. And honestly, I wasn't doing that. So because that wasn't working for me, and I realized when I went to clean out my office one time, how much I was throwing away because I was just finding random little packs of like five of them here, 7 of them here, 4 of them here. And it was like, well, I wish I would have even known where I put them. Like, and so all it takes is that one time of like throwing away a bunch of stuff, and you're like, crap, that's such a waste of money. And but yeah, so I guess maybe because I break it down into different like stages, I guess, of that Happy Meal every week.
So you haven't touched any of your March customers for the Happy Meal that's going out right now?
No.
Okay.
No.
So, but that will be everyone who's getting sent to the month for April, starting with April.
So if I were on track right now, today being the 19th, if I were on track, which I was planning on doing this today or tomorrow, I've been a little off lately. So, but if I were on track, for a perfect world, which this is why I feel like a system like this, like a checklist of some kind, and that's why mine is literally called tasks to stay on track. Like that, it's just literally a checklist. This is why I feel like they're so important, is when you do get off in life and you're just feeling a bit bleh. But it was my oldest told me I'm in my rot girl era right now because I just want to sit in bed and rot. But it's very helpful because it's like, okay, no, this is what I need to be doing. So if I were on track, it being the 19th, I would have my 50 envelopes counted out. They would, and they would be ready for me to put my said to the month, because I haven't gotten them yet. I think it's coming tomorrow, is what it said. They would be ready for me to put all of the flyers in, but like my envelopes would already be labeled with my address label on them, counted out all 50, and I've put whatever flyers that I found on the Canva groups, those are already in there. Like I've customized them, printed them, and cut them out, whatever, rack
Mhm.
cards to fit in there. And then so that way tomorrow, for example, when I get the Son of the Month in, I can immediately go into putting all the 50 brochures in.
Mhm.
And then use your words, Katrina. I'm sorry, you guys. So then I put the flyers in, and so that I can immediately go into labeling, like having all my 50 bags pre-labeled, like print my labels to put them in there so that I can go right into making the samples next Sunday. Basically, next
Mhm.
Sunday is when I would be planning on doing that. So that by the end of the month, they're ready to be mailed essentially on the 1st of the month. And the people that they would be addressed to would be everyone from March and February and probably January. Just going back. But yes, I try to make it those people that have
Mhm.
immediately ordered. And my customers know that too. Like I tell them when I post things like, oh, I just got the new Son of the Month in. It's so amazing. Samples are going out of this and the Mother's Day collection. And people will be like, ooh, I can't wait to smell that. And I'm like, listen, I only send samples. I will tell them flat out. I only send samples to my last 50 customers. So if it's been a hot
Mhm.
minute since you've ordered, might be time to place an order. And that kind of, they have that little bit of FOMO
Yeah.
in, yeah, I don't think I have ordered in a few months. Maybe I should, because I like Katrina's Happy Meal, because my customers like their Happy Meal. So
Right. Okay.
I
No,
rambled.
it's
Stop asking me questions.
well, I was gonna say Devin does Happy Meal as well. Dev.
I do, or at least I try to. The past 2 months, a
You've had a lot
majority
of
of my
changes.
yes, but a majority of my Happy Meal has been to a majority of local customers only because I've had so many like just bulk orders like last month. I'd say
Mhm.
about 75% of my PRB came from local orders. And so I was constantly putting them together, delivering them. I already have 45 catalogs, new catalogs out since I got them last month because that's just how I got them out through my local orders.
Mhm.
And I haven't had many, I guess, online orders compared to that. So it's kind of, those are on a back burner at the moment. They are going to happen. But what I usually do, I got what are they called? The catalog mailers. And that's what I put it all my, uh, yeah, Happy Mail to
Mailing.
my orders.
Yep.
So what they consist of are catalog, obviously. I have a Scentsy Club uh card that I put it in it. What else goes in it actually? I have a bunch of samples that I have made up right now of new scents, the Easter scents, the Stitch scents that are in the catalog. And then I also have a counter clean sample that I have put together, a Scentsy Fresh sample that I have put together, and a washer whiff sample that I've put together. All that plus, like last month, I gave them one of February's and one of March's Set of the Month flyers as well, and with
Mhm.
those samples as well. This month, they've gotten only March's because I ran out of my February ones actually. And then once I get April's in, they will be getting March and April's until I run out of March. So that's just how
Okay.
I've been getting my samples
And
out.
do you do them every week or do you do them every time you get an order or?
I do them as I need them and as I deliver the orders. So I should be having it's 4 or 5. I have the sticky note somewhere. That's how I organize my local orders. I put them on sticky notes.
What? I don't know the system at all.
Oh my God. No. So then once they come in, I'll organize, I'll put them together, and then that's when I get my Happy Mail packs put together for those.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I have notes. Well,
Oh my God.
and as I mentioned, I have homework to do. So I guess I'm gonna review that and see maybe how things work also for me. That's part of my homework. So yeah. I do have to ask Devin one question because Katrina asked it earlier, and then after that, I'll stop the recording. Devin, Katrina wants to know what you do last month.
Local orders. I literally just talked face to face with so many people, so many new people. And I was just bulk orders, like save them on Shipbang. And they're like, deal, I'll text you tomorrow with my order. I was like, okay. And then that just happened. I had quite a few opportunities last month to actually go out and see people, which doesn't happen all the time. But yeah, I've made, it's kind of contradicting earlier, but Scentsy, I've made myself known as the Scentsy guy, especially being my mother's son, because my mother knows everyone where I live. So if she's somewhere just hanging out with friends, I'll get a call, hey, come down here. I talked about Scentsy, and now people want to place orders. I was like, okay, I'm on my way. So that's how that happened quite a few times last month.
And somebody pushed you. I'm pretty sure their name was Bree.
Sure. Yeah. Bree did push me quite a
But you
bit.
might have been.
Now we're pushing each other quite a bit too. Like this month, we're pushing each other to have those joint conversations, to have our downline have those joint conversations too,
Mhm.
because a big part of growing is not just yourself, but mentoring and leading your downline to do the same. And that's something that we can't really forget to do as leaders. Because if you're just doing what's best for you and not what's best for your team, then things happen.
Fair. Okay. Well, thank you for sharing that. I'm going to stop the recording. There's the button.